Hello, fellow gregarious geeks and gamers, and welcome to this Tabletop Sessions playthrough of Pax Porfiriana. Over here you see I have the collector's edition of the game, but the rules and everything we go through will apply to the original edition as well. I thought about playing this game because the Ultimate Edition is coming out, and I really love this game, so I thought I'd play a little solo game in. This is a game about Mexico under Porfirio Diaz, the dictator, and basically we play some rich and influential haciendados that are trying to overthrow or at least establish the government in their favor. You can choose to, do it through loyalty to Porfirio Diaz, or military command, or international outrage, or revolution. And we do that using this pack system over here with this market of cards and changing around the government status and all sorts of different things. The point of this playthrough is to show you the feel of the game. The last one I did, Neanderthal, I got some rules wrong as it's a very complicated game, and I loved that everybody was out there telling me explanations of what I did wrong and so on. And I encourage you to do the same with this one so that any new player can see any mistakes that I've made. But I do want to remind you, this is not a teach. This is just to capture the feel and the thought process and so on of how to play this game. So that's really the purpose of it. I am bound to make some mistakes. There we go. So let's sort of go through this over here. You might see all these dice in the middle, and this isn't a dice game, but I do use one variant from the official. So I'm playing the official solo rules, where we play against Porfirio Diaz, who, between all the support he has, in place of the regular sort of tripartite that you need to overcome, basically he starts with 4 loyalty, 4 command, 6 outrage, and 4 revolution, and you need to overcome one of these. And of course these can go higher based upon the different partners that he pulls and gets during the course of the game. The only variant I'll be doing is usually to determine sort of which cards that Porfirio Diaz takes during the course of the game. It's usually just a d6, and you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that leaves you a 1 in 6 chance that he might pull from the most expensive column, because these are the prices of the market. And the reason that I don't want to do that is one of the actions you can do is to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Speculate on something, and saying, oh, I think someone's going to purchase this card, and if they do, you get that amount of money. And if you're just rolling a 1 out of 6 chance, you would just constantly spam this column over here, and it's almost an infinite money glitch. So in that regard, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the Box of Delights Ricky Royal little tweak over here, which is, rather than roll a single d6, we're going to roll 2 d6, and then on a 7 they'll pick from this, on a 6 or an 8 from this column, from a 5 or a 9 for this column, 4 and 10 this column, 3 and 11 this column, and 2 and 12 this column, just to decrease the chances of pulling from this column and increase the chances of pulling from this side. Other than that, we're playing the regular solo rules, no other changes. So without further ado, let's go for it. So the course of this game, we follow this sort of sequence of play, as you can see over here. The first thing we do is we do our 3 actions. Then we discard any headline cards that are in this initial column over here, this cheapest column. We get our income, or we refill the market, and then we get our income. And what are the different things we can do? Well, these are all the different actions that we can do. And we'll try to go through as much of them as possible during the course of the game, even at the cost of playing badly. That's the excuse I'm going with from now in case I do lose. But yes, let's go for that. So we currently have $4 to start with for money, and no cards in our hand. So basically, we really are probably going to purchase cards in this first turn of the game. So for turn 1, I'm taking a look over here. My guy, who is Francisco Madero, let me show you, is the character that I randomly picked. He likes revolution and outrage, because at some point in the game he can flip and publish a manifesto openly against Porfirio Diaz, and depending on sort of which way I'm going, I could get an extra revolution or bonus ability at the cost of the income I make every round for currently just being in the shadows. So there we go. There's my Hacendado, Francisco Madero, the intellectual. His ability is, oh, sorry, I forgot to go through this. I can buy partner cards at half the cost rounded up from the market. And what is a partner card? Well, a partner card is any card that says partner in the top left-hand corner. So there you have it. So let's get started. I want to focus on revolution or outrage. So I see there's, about 3 outrage cards over here, but if you also notice, Porfirio Diaz starts with quite a lot of outrage, which means it generally takes more outrage to overthrow him than revolution. So if I can go with revolution, that's always a good option. We have this orange card over here, which can, if I play against myself as a straw man action, I can gain that revolution. And I have this over here, and honestly, they don't go too badly against each other. I mean, because this can create unrest on this, and if we create enough unrest on this, we basically cause a revolt, a slave revolt. And by doing that, I can end up with 2 revolution points if I play that right. But this is directly related to outrage, so I think that's a good basic strategy. We'll try to pick up some outrage cards, pick these 2 cards up if they stay available, and try to generate outrage and revolution so we have the ability to pivot. I don't want to pay for either of these 2. I can't pay for either of these 2 outrage cards. They're far too expensive, and I have $4. So I will take this... It's a good, yeah, this also depends on revolution. This depends on outrage. So it's almost like a back and forth. So you know what? Rather than do all this, let me work on getting some income so that I can buy some more expensive cards in the future. We could buy the gun store. It has very limited income, but every time someone plays an orange card, we're going to make some money. So that might be a good way to do it since we're planning on playing some orange cards. And this one... I don't want to play it. I mean, it's all right, but it very much depends on the economy, and it does get me into the loyalty game, which it's not the end of the world if I get it. I just don't care too much for it. And this is a mine over here in U.S. territory. I'm thinking that I will buy a couple of cards. The first thing I'll buy, I'll pay 1 over here for this gun store and take that into my hand. We'll call this my hand over here. And then for the other one, so when you buy a market card, that's a single action. But if you buy a second market card, that's now considered 2 actions. So if you do purchase 2, you're basically using up all your actions for the turn. But that's not the end of the world here. Let's try to make these cheaper. So I'll buy this orange card just so we can pivot, which lets me create some unrest, which you can do on myself or we can do on them if we don't care about outrage and we're going for a revolution. And here's that gun store that I picked up earlier, and we'll walk through sort of how to use that when it comes time to play. So that's the end of that, and as we follow the sequence of play, we did 3 actions. Since the second card was worth 2 actions, we now discard any headline cards in this first column, which there are none. We then restore the market, so basically everything scoots down a touch, and then we basically fill it up from top to bottom, left to right. So here's 1, and here's 2. No revolution, no outrage, less interesting to me, but hey. And then the last thing we do, and I won't show you this every time, I just want to go through it the first time, is take income. So my current income is $2 because of these 2 cubes, so I'll get 2 of these. These are 1, these are 5, these are 10. So there you go. I have $5 to spend for the next round, and that's the end of my turn. So for Porfirio Diaz, what we're going to do is roll the dice for him a couple times. And depending on what the card is, he'll act differently. So for the first of the two, we're going to roll this dice. From the top row, you rolled a 7. So he'll be taking this card, which we'll get to in a second. And from the bottom row, you'll be taking, with another 7, this card. Almost like the odds are actual things. Okay, let me grab these dice, put them here. So over here, we pulled this card first. Let's see what it does. The way that he works is he'll play partners into his tableau, and the first card, actually both cards are partners. So there you go. So this partner over here gives him a loyalty point. So we're going to play that into his tableau and give him a loyalty point. Now the problem with this card is he can, during toppling, discard it to add 1 to his revolution. So if I can get rid of this partner, which it says right there, if I am going for revolution, I won't want him to have this card because he will get rid of it to add to that point. At least that's how I play. I figure play as much like a real person as possible. And this partner over here gives him another loyalty. And now you see why I didn't really care too much about fighting him for loyalty. But this card over here, again, collect gold spent by opponents to build enterprises in Chihuahua during Pax regime. He essentially has infinite gold, so that doesn't matter too much. So we're going to go ahead and play that. And that's the end of his turn. So we're going to scoot everything down. Remember, first thing we do again was to check if there are any enterprises. There were none. So now we just refill the market and draw 2 more cards. So there we have a headline card, and I'll explain those as they come up. So let's jump into my next turn. I have these cards. I don't have anything to play against him or me for this card yet, because we need an enterprise in play, and we currently have none. And the gun store currently costs 7, and I don't have 7. So let's look at buying some stuff and maybe trying to speculate on some other cards that maybe we think he might buy, which just means randomly guessing and hoping for the best in this case. Well, I want these 2 cards because they're kind of part of my strategy. Again, a strategy that I don't know will work. So I'll pay $2 and I'll buy these 2. Kind of just stockpiling these early 2 rounds. We'll see what happens as the turn continues. There is a hand limit, I believe, of 5 cards. I am underneath that hand limit at this point in time. So now we check any headline cards. There are none. So we restock the market and we draw. So there we go. Great. There's another revolution here and another revolution here. They seem to come out in pairs. So let's see if we can do that. Now let's get our income of $2 back into our hand. So yeah, let's see what Porfirio Diaz does now. Action 1 from top row, 5. So we see the number 5, which is here. So he will grab this black card. And again, this will go in his hand for now. And then we will roll the other. That's an 8. And he will pull from this one over here into his hand. So the first thing we do is we take a look at the black card. The way it works is he first checks to see if there's any way he can play a card against me. And if not, he checks to see if he can play a card against himself. It's a straw man action. This particular card says nationalize a Mexican enterprise. There are no Mexican enterprises in play, so this card will get discarded over here. The next card he has over here is a Chihuahuan Ranch, which is an enterprise. The thing about this card is he will only, Porfirio Diaz in the solo game will only play these if they have a prestige icon on them, like these loyalties over here. This one does not, so again, it will get discarded and thrown out of play. And now we check for headlines. There are none, and we proceed. So you see how this game kind of like, it's not super long. Oh, we have some troops in play and some outrage, which might work out for us. So I want to get some of these cards into play, but I'm very broke. So there's nothing I really want to sell to make up that difference. If we sold a card, we would get basically the cost of the economy for each card. So we're currently in a state of Pax, that's the name, that's the current government, and the economy over here is 3. So if I sold a card, I would get 3. But if we were, say, in anarchy, well, that now drops down to 1. So that's how selling a card works. So what do we want to do? We're looking at revolution, we're looking at outrage. There is an outrage card here, but again, I would have to play it on myself as a straw man. And these revolutions are very expensive at the moment. Interesting. Some troops would be good to protect whatever enterprises I put in, like my gun store. My gun store is, though, in U.S. territory. Right there, you can see the symbol. The troops that we have on the board, for example, this is in Sonoran territory, so I would not be able to send those troops there. The other troops are in Sonora as well. So overall, not great. And this plantation, I don't care too much about protecting because I'm trying to cause unrest. So the troops right now don't matter to me. So yeah, I could probably sell 1 card. I think I will. I will sell as my first action. Let's see, way over here, we've currently gone through buying cards, and then now I'm doing selling a hand or tableau card, and then I'll be doing play a card. So you'll see 3 out of those 9 actions so far. I'm going to sell this card into the discard for $3 because that's the current economy. That puts me at $8, and with $8 I can get this gun store into play for 7. So that's playing a hand card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was expensive, but the good thing about that is now I can place a cube on there. So I get 3 base income every turn as long as I have this, and I will receive 2 golds from the pool for every orange card played by any player. So could end up being worth a good amount for me. So that was 2 of my actions, and for my third action, I'm going to speculate to try to make some income. And what I'll do is I'm not super desperate for income right now, so I'll put it up on this higher end and give me more chance of getting more money as things progress. So I will drop it over here. And now if Porfirio Diaz ever buys that card, I will get the amount depending on the column that it's in. So if he buys it this round with a 2 or a 12, I'll get 16. But if it's all the way down here, I would get 2, So that's how that works. And that's the end of my turn. There are no headline cards. I didn't purchase anything. Nothing happens in the market. So that's 3 more bucks that I get. So I'm making more per turn. And I'll get those 3 now. Great. So let's see what Porfirio does. So we're on a first name basis. So for his first top row action, 2. Oh my, I swear. I swear that was completely random. So I'm going to take that. He's going to gain this card, and I'm going to get 60. Oh my goodness. $16. I can think of creative ways to spend all this, obviously. This is not infinite money, but there you go. And that goes into his hand. Let's roll for the bottom row. Over here, we have a 9. So a 9 is here, and another set of troops. So first thing he'll look at when he pulls troops is, again, what Sonoran enterprises can he extort, including mine or his own. There's only 1 enterprise in play, and it's on the U.S. side of the border, so there is none. So this will get discarded, and the same with this one because it also says Sonora over there. So there's 3 territories in the game. Sonora, which is marked by that. There's the U.S., which is marked by that. And there's Chihuahua, which we've seen 0 cards of so far. But it basically just looks like the Sonora one with the word Chihuahua mirror imaged. Like, it's a mirror image with the word Chihuahua on it. There's no headline cards. Let's push this down and draw 2 more cards. Here we go. We have, I really want that partner. I'm not enough to pay 16 for it, even though I just got 16. I will gamble that he's not going to roll something that high quite yet. But now that I have some money, I'm going to put this plantation into play with my first action. It's going to cost me 5, so that's 5. And that has a starting income of 2. So I'm going to place the, oh, I don't know what happened to the cube here. Should have been there. So a starting income of 2, but it says on it, you can see, if the unrest is ever greater than the cubes on this card, award the card as a revolution point to the liberator. So that's my aim with this. I'm going to try to make as much money as I can until that happens. But remember, we do have this in pocket to once we get some outrage points, to come over here and cause some damage over there, and maybe get this card as well. So scoring maybe 2 revolution points in the process. So another thing I can do, so you can see over here, this gun store, it has only 1 cube on it, and that's all it'll ever have. The rest of the income comes from playing orange cards. Any player, it says, not just your opponents. This card, however, you'll see says starting income on it. Start income over here at the top. And the reason is you can expand your plantations and your ranches. That action over here is called buying land. So when you're buying land, you're basically adding more cubes onto these plantations and ranches that you have. Like you can see a ranch over here, which also has the start income instead of just a plain block. So you can expand them over time and make more money that way. So for now, I guess I'm making money off of slave labor. Oh God. So we've now gone through, we've played a hand card, we've bought market cards and 2 market cards. We've a buy and play a public card works the same way, but it's these 2 super expensive cards, one of which is revolution, one of which is outrage. So you can get, you know, that extra. If you have the money, you can get some extra revolution and outrage. They're just always available. Then we have redeploy troops. We'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. Buying land, which I've just talked about. Upgrading a connection, police action, and speculate, which you've seen. You haven't seen upgrades or police. We could upgrade this connection. So upgrading a connection, for example, you can see over here, the gun store has a boot at the bottom, okay? So that boot costs, is basically how to get there. But you might see from some troops that if they're going to a boot area, that costs $10 to get there. Sometimes it's, you know, it's cheaper to go by donkey or by train. Sometimes it's cheaper. Sometimes it's cheaper to walk there than to go by train. But let's say you had this troop, you really want to pay less, right? So if I upgraded it by doing an upgrade connection and placing a cube here for $1, I now make donkey paths available. In fact, they must use donkey paths, so make it cheaper in this case. Rather than paying 10 every time to move there, they pay 8 to move there. So that's how paths work. So that is a good option for me. It's also an extra income every turn. So if I have the actions, I think I'm going to go for it. So I'll pay $1 and I will create a donkey path for this. So now I'm actually going to get, you know, 6 income this turn. So that's 2 actions. I've upgraded a connection and I've played this plantation. And I really want to look at getting a troop that can protect Sonora. They all seem to be in the discard pile. Or US. I don't think there's any troops, period. Nope, there are no troops. So instead, I'm going to take a look at if anything is worth my time. Maybe some more economic thing. Discard an opponent's monopoly. He does have a monopoly, so that might be a good one. And it's cheap. So, yeah. I mean, the one I really want to discard is that one. And there's some things that will allow you to do that, like assassinations. Another thing that would help you is strife. So, like, let's say you pulled this card and you see this little strife icon. It means there's a strife between red cards and green cards. So we'd roll a dice for him and see basically which of those 2 he will discard. He might discard all red cards or all green cards, and that's how that would work. I don't really want to go more into gun stores, mines. I want to keep my mine, but maybe getting another mine into play, that might work. A Sonoran mine. I already have a Sonoran mine. This one over here, this is way too expensive. You know what? Just to keep things plugging along, let me purchase this this lawsuit card. And it says, you know, if I ever want to play it, it costs 0. I get to steal $3, which would be from the supply, since that's his personal bank account. And it would discard an opponent's monopoly, which he does have one, so in case that becomes necessary. And it costs 2 actions, unless the government happens to be no longer Pax and in U.S. intervention, at which point it would cost only 1 action. But we're keeping things in Pax. And the way this game works is depending on what you want to use to overthrow, you would need a different government in place. If I wanted revolution, I would want a anarchical government, because you can see at the end of the game it says free elections, if revolution is more. So you're basically scoring revolution. Whereas with outrage, I would want U.S. intervention. So it might be a strategy to go for U.S. intervention, since that's one of my 2 bonus points. But for now, we're still in Pax Porfiriana, and we're loyal hacendados. So let's move things along. There are no, that was my 3 actions. There are no headline cards there. There almost is one. So we're going to draw another one. And that's what we have at the moment. Oh, there's the Chihuahua icon. So you can see it's just like the Sonoran one, but mirror image, and it says Chihuahua on there. So that's where we're at. Now, question, yes, now I make my income. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Money is wonderful. And so let's go ahead and roll for Porfirio's turn. From the top row, you'll be pulling 10. So that's this mine over here. And from the bottom row, you'll be pulling 7. So that's another mine over here. So for that first mine, I think it was this one, basically with enterprises, if there is a prestige icon on them, he plays them. If not, discard. Same goes for this one. There is no prestige icon, which is a shame, because I do enjoy extorting money from certain enterprises. So for sure, this at the end of my turn will get played whether or not I choose to play it. So let's go ahead and do this. And we have this card and this card in play. So what are we looking at over here? We have these 2 cards. This right now isn't super useful. It would kill this card, but unless I'm building enterprises in Chihuahua, it's not really important. And this would be good once I get some outrage points. Right now I have none. So neither of my cards are very impressive right now, and I really want this. I'm so terrified that he's going to purchase it. Oh, and I do get to pay half for them. So I forgot my ability. Francisco Madero buys partners for half. And as you can see, this card over here is a partner card. So I will purchase that for 4. Oh, that's really a no-brainer then. So there's 4. I will take this into my hand and I'll play it right away. And Mystic Teresa Urrea for $6. That's 10. I'll take 4 back. Here we go. So she, first of all, gives me a revolution point, and secondly, purchased. It says purchase orange cards in the market for 0 gold. So I could buy this for 0 gold, for example. Do I want to? No, but I might want to buy this one. So this one, the amount of money that you steal is variable based on your loyalty points, but it does place 3 unrest, which would immediately put my plantation into unrest. The good thing about it as well is that it is in Sonora, just like my plantation is. So I'm going to do this. It'll cost 2 actions. So I can't. Oh, well, maybe I just need to hope it stays in play for the next round. But it is really, really good. Is it worth paying an extra 4 to make sure I have it? Yes. So I'm gonna pull this back in my hand. First action was buying this for 4, and then I'm gonna pay. And rather than play this for 6, I'm going to buy this for 4. So I'll take 2 back for the difference for that. So now these 2 are also in my hand. This is what my hand's looking like. And we're going to stop there. Not stop there, but we're going to end our turn there just to make sure we have that, because that was all 3 actions. Now, this will get played. And in the solo game, basically, if it changes the game, the government back to Pax Porfiriana, we do this top action. Otherwise, we play it for no action. The government is currently Pax Porfiriana, so there's no need to change anything. So he will play it as status quo, and we will talk about these bulls and bears when they come up, but a couple bulls in a row are usually a good thing. A couple bears in a row will lead to a recession, make everything expensive and hard to keep. So we want to avoid recessions if we can, especially when we're dealing with a guy with infinite money here. So that's the end of my turn. So let's go ahead and pull all these in. And then we're going to actually draw 3 this time. So we have a Chihuahuan water project, a mine in Chihuahua, and a mine in Sonora. So let's do Porfirio's turn. Top row, 4. So 4 means they will take this card. They're going to have a target this time. And bottom row, 11. So that's going to be this card over here, which again, same rules apply unless it changes to Pax Porfiriana. They will discard this one. Does not. So we now have a bear card in the market. So if another bear one comes up, it might be worth purchasing a bull to break the streak, because if 2 bears in a row show up, we get into recession. So let's see what they're going to do. So Gito Systems over here says nationalize a Mexican enterprise. Well, we happen to have a Mexican. God damn it. This is my whole strategy. All right. And X, which is how much they're going to steal from me, steal X. X is the number of unrest, which there's currently 0 unrest on that. So by delaying for 1 turn, well, I didn't delay intentionally. I didn't have a choice. They are going to nationalize it. And nationalizing, oh, did I get my income last turn? I didn't. I'll take $6 before that. I lose that. So that's $6. God damn it. All right. So they're going to play that. So these 2 are going to go away. And then this card is going to get nationalized, which means it's going to get discarded. If there were any troops there, then we'd have a couple options. They could get discarded, or I could declare my manifesto and start building a private army. But until then, that's it. But they do award me 1 outrage point into my grudge pile for being a jerk. So there you go. I now have 1 outrage point. Ooh, I'm on my way. Feel great about it. But you know what? There is another mine right there in Sonora. So the plan's not dead, everyone. The plan's not dead. We're just going to pull this all up. And there's the first of the 4 topple cards, which means it's a good place to end this game at the end of his turn. But I'd like to divide it basically into 4, which is a stop at each topple card, if that makes sense. So a topple card is your attempt to end the game. So basically, the only way you can attempt to win the game is by taking a topple card and triggering this action. If it gets discarded by reaching the end of the market or by Porfirio taking it, well, tough shit. So here we go. For this turn, I will buy this card for 0, and it goes in my hand. I now have a hand size of 5. Action 2 will be to play a card from my hand, which will be Mina Dolores, which is also in Sonora, and it gives me gold equal to the cubes equal to the current mine based on the government. So you see over here, currently mines produce 2. If it was under U.S. intervention, it produces 3 because of I don't know why. This isn't a political channel. All right, and then anarchy over here, anarchy over here will produce only 1 gold. So we're currently in Pax Porfiriana, so it'll actually produce 2. And this will change according to the government. So we've done that, and in order to play that, I had to pay 7. So there's 5, 6, 7. So I've done that, and I now have that in play. So then action 2, before they can do it to me again, will be to play this against myself. Mordida. It says Yaki War tax hike. So I steal. I can never steal from myself. That's a thing in the game. But it does place 3 unrest tokens. Oh yes, these cubes are multi-use. 3 red cubes on a Sonoran Enterprise. And I'm playing this against myself as a straw man action, which means I gain this grudge point, a little revolution point right there. So I'll gain that. But it also says jailed on it. If you can't see it, I will show it to you right there. Little jailed icon. When you're jailed, you basically grab a token and place it on your guy. It means until you free yourself, you only have 2 actions. That's kind of what jailed means. So that was my second action. But what it does cause is right now I have unrest greater than the number of cubes. So there were 2 cubes on there. And you probably can't see those because they're green, and 3 unrest. So that means 3 is more than 2. So we come back over here. It says, if unrest is greater than cubes on the card, award the card as a revolution point to the liberator. Well, I'm the liberator. I'm the one that drove the slave labor into revolt. So I'm going to award this card to myself for another revolution point. And it does jail me, but I'm already jailed. You can't get double jailed. So that would be the end of my turn. And then basically on the next action, I can show you a police action, because the things that a police action does is it gets rid of either being in jail or it gets rid of unrest on a card. So that's what a police action does. So I believe we've talked about most of these actions except redeploying troop cards, because there's been a weird shortage of troop cards. But that's where we're at. So I'm going to rearrange this slightly just so it's a little easier to manage. That's on 2, that's on 1. There's my grudge pile at the moment. And that would be the end of my turn. So again, there's no headline cards here. So everything is going to get pushed up. Oh, look at that. There's another bear. So if a bull card comes, I might buy it, even if it's a little more expensive, to make sure it gets played before this one, so we don't enter a recession, because that'll only benefit Porfirio. And then here we have a ranch on U.S. territory. So that's how that works. This is my current hand. I get my income, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to double check if I get my income when I am jailed. So we do get our income, but it also turns out that we actually get 3. We don't go down to 2 actions during the turn. The jailing takes sort of effect at the end of your turn. So remember, I did that first action, which was to play the mine. Then I played the yellow card on it, which, by the way, should have given me an additional 2 gold for the pool for every orange card played by any player. So that would have been 2 more gold. I didn't have that extra 4 income, so we'll hold it off to the side. I'm just doing some corrections here. So 2 gold for every orange card played. I played an orange card, even if it was on myself. That gun store. So basically, you're just capitalizing on violence, all right? It makes sense. Sell some guns, make some crime, all right? So we did that. I got that extra $2. And so that was the 2 actions. The third action will be to play this rebel activist, which will cost 6. So I'll pay 6 to, I'll pay the 5 and the 1 right here. And so now I can now purchase orange cards in the market for 0 gold, and it will increase my revolution by 1, because I have 1, 2, 3 revolution and 1 outrage. I do have a hidden revolution in hand, so I could go up to 4. So we could be almost ready to topple by the time the second or third one comes out. So that's maybe what we're going for with the revolution. We're very far away from doing it with outrage. This is my current hand, so I'll just leave things there. And now I gain my income, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll just pay a 1 and take a 5, because I don't want to have a billion tokens over here. And that's going to be where we end things. Nope. We will run 1 more turn for Porfirio Diaz, so we can start with our turn on the next one. So let's just see what Porfirio does. Top row, 7. Oh, this is interesting. We get to show you this. Great. And then bottom row, 4. So that will be this one over here. So the first card over here, it is an enterprise, but you can see it has a loyalty prestige on it. So he's going to take that token and he's going to put it into play. So that's now something that we can potentially attack and try to extort some money off of. And you don't need to place the income that he has, but I like to, because it just helps me know sort of where I can target. And it makes income equal to the economy, the current economy. And the current economy in the Pax is 3, as we discussed. So there's 3 tokens that I could potentially extort. He also has an ability to purchase enterprises for 0. Doesn't matter. Man has infinite money. So over here, this other card, it's again just a mine, but you can see there is no prestige icon on it. So this will go into the discard pile. And in fact, we will end over here and jump back into play. So let me just reset this market. And that'll be that. We have a partner over here. And we have a bull. So, all right. So it might be worth me grabbing this bull to ensure we don't enter a recession. 16's a lot of money. Money I don't have. But, you know, let's give it a shot. See if we can maybe gamble 1 turn for it to drop down to about 4 or so. And then work on picking up that bull on the next one. And I will end things here. And please join us for the next section of play of Pax Porfiriana. I hope you've enjoyed it. And let me know. Let me know what I did wrong so far. I can probably correct it in the next turn. I'm sure I did some things wrong. And again, I appreciate all the advice, but that's not really the point. The point is to show you the thought patterns, the thinking, and the way the game actually plays. So you just kind of have an idea of what you're getting into if you want to pick up this game or you want to, you know, get excited to get it onto the table with your friends. So until next time, I will see you, and God damn it, you've got to be kind, like my favorite author says. Say bye, April.